So what did you do on Friday, Al? I understand you did a ride-along with the police department.
Well, this conversation would fall under the category of understanding sort of the inner workings of racism and prejudice, and why you really need to sit on both sides, if you will. So I'm a volunteer chaplain with the Cobb County, which is our local, right near Atlanta, police department, and I ride in the front seat with the officer, and just as a military chaplain, to keep them company, and just whatever they want to talk about. So we were traveling around, and he was, we're just in a particular area. And he said, I'm going to stop this car. And it had a license tag which had expired. They hadn't purchased a new one, and it was very hard to see the brake lights. Okay. So he puts on his lights, and I assume that the people in the car are going to pull off to the side of the road. They don't. In our area, there are 2 lanes which go on to 75, which are filled with traffic. So the driver stops right in the lane, which is going on to 75. So there are hundreds of cars now zipping around us. So the police officer has put on his light, and cars are zipping around us. It turns out that there are 3 African-American young men in the car. Fine. And I say to the officer, what do you want me to do? Because I'm not armed. I mean, I'm just sitting in the car. He says, stay in the car. He says, don't even get out, because the cars are looping around. They have to loop around us to get on the interstate. And I must tell you that for the initial 30 seconds of him walking up to the car, going through my mind are all these images of what could happen. Are they armed? Are they not armed? Will they listen? Won't they listen? And I didn't know, and you don't know what's going to happen. And that was a teachable moment for me, even though I've done it before, but never quite in that circumstance. So now we look at it from the perspective of the police. It's just, he's telling somebody your decal hasn't been renewed, or your license. You're talking, well, that's nothing. But just given our social difficulties with race, it came together. So I see in a way his perspective of like, who are they? And yet he was friendly and kind, and the young men did what they were told in the car, and he asked for identification, and it turned out that 2 of them had multiple IDs. So they didn't. So they gave him one, and he couldn't find them in the computer, and then he put them in the car with me in the back seat, and so we're talking a little bit, and it turned out that he came back to the car and he said, there's a distinct smell of marijuana in the car, and so he searched them for marijuana, and one of them did have a little baggie of marijuana, and he was arrested, because in Cobb County, that's the law. But through it all, everyone acted appropriately. There was no belligerence, there was no cursing. The person with the marijuana knew that he shouldn't have had it, and he had it in his sock, by the way. So he was told to take off his shoes and take off his socks. And so I guess for me it was a teachable moment, because I saw it from both perspectives. We need our police officers. We need to understand how dangerous it is. I felt endangered a little bit, like, oh my gosh. And I even thought about, what do I do? And I had to think about, what do I do if things don't go well? I guess I run out of the car. But I have to think about the traffic, because again, I'm not armed. And then I'm thinking about the people in the car. How are they perceiving the police officer? And is he treating them with dignity? And in this case, everyone did the right thing. Interestingly, even the person arrested, he wasn't angry. I thought he was going to be belligerent. He wasn't. He said, yeah, I know. I know that I shouldn't have had that. And the police officer said to him, don't worry, because if you were in Atlanta, I wouldn't have to arrest you. In Cobb County, you'll bond out in a few hours. So, I mean, everything went the right way. And I guess it's good to kind of hear those stories, that that's what's supposed to happen. And wouldn't that be wonderful if our society just acted like that, that if there was a crime, the police came, and they were respected by the people, and there was respect all the way around. And so I think for us to talk about is when that doesn't happen, how bad things can get, and how we really should say thank you to the police and the fire people and the first responders, 911 people and all the folks who put themselves out, and yet at the same time, we say thank you and we respect you, and now give us back the respect. And there we were, I don't know how many cars zipping around us, and it all ended well. It all ended fine. So, as I say, it's good to know that those things occur, and they occur routinely, and maybe that's a model that we can all think about, how to make our society function the way it's supposed to, with equal respect and dignity for all. So that was my experience, and it was very real, and but it was good, I think, for me, because it gave me additional insights. And hopefully, if we get together with you, we can share similar stories and make the world a little bit better place to live. Thank you for listening. Thank you.